when you set what I'm calling a realistic revenue goal, instead of focusing on making millions out of the gate, your mind is freed up to focus on connecting with your audience, growing your email list, getting your messaging right, getting comfortable on social media and video, and getting clear on your direction. I'm Amy Porterfield, ex-corporate girl turned CEO of a multi-seven-figure business. But it wasn't all that long ago that I lacked the confidence, the budget, and the time to focus on growing my small but mighty business. Fast forward past many failed attempts and lessons learned, and you'll see the business I have today. One that changes lives and gives me more freedom than I ever thought possible. One that used to only exist as a daydream. I created the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast to give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. If you're an ambitious entrepreneur or one in the making who's looking to create a business that makes an impact and a life you love, you're in the right place, friend. Let's get started. Hey there, welcome back to Online Marketing Made Easy. I am your host, Amy Porterfield, and I'm so thrilled that you're here today. I'm extra excited for today's episode because I want to outline the top 5 things that you'll want to do when you've just started your business based on my own experience as an online business owner. These are the most valuable steps I took when I went off on my own 15 years ago. And I know that they're going to help you set up your business for success right from the get-go. Like, this is the episode that I wish I had the first day I left my corporate job and started my own business. So you might be a year or 2 in, but I want you to listen to this and think, have I skipped any of these steps? And maybe you're 5, 10 years in, and this might be a good, fun walk down memory lane. And you can kind of compare your own experience to what I'm going to share here. I wonder if you hit all 5 of these things right out of the gate, or did you skip some of these and did it cause some chaos, or are you just fine? I'm kind of interested. So I'm not just kind of interested, I'm really interested. So if you listen to this episode, no matter where you are in your journey, I want you to jump on Instagram. I'm just at Amy Porterfield on Instagram, and tell me your own experience with these 5 things I'm going to share with you. I'm so curious if you did them or if you are going to do them. Okay, before we dive in, I just want to preface this by saying that if you're still working your 9-to-5 job and you aren't sure about how to go about starting the business that you've dreamed of, I've got you. You probably already know I wrote an entire book called 2 Weeks Notice, which gives you a step-by-step playbook on how to do everything from working up the courage to leave your job, to developing a plan to leave, to then creating the idea for your business and crafting and building your offer and so much more. So if you haven't read that yet and you want your life to look a whole lot different than it does now, and you want to call the shots in your own business, please go grab the book. You can get it on Audible. I think that's the best way at this point to get through it quickly. Go grab it on Audible, listen to 2 Weeks Notice, and I think you're going to have that encouragement, that spark, that kick in the butt that you want to leave your job in a timely manner and stop thinking about it, dreaming about it, and actually getting a plan to do it. So there you go. Okay, now let's say that you're at a place now that you have left that 9-to-5 job. What do? Well, the first thing that you'll want to do is to set up a realistic revenue goal for your first year. Now, I know this might sound counterintuitive because you're like, whoa, there's a lot of other things I probably need to do before I think about money, but stay with me here. In that first year, if you make it all about money, you'll miss out on the invaluable lessons of learning what you're truly good at, what you love, what you enjoy, and what you don't. So if you make it all about money, you're going to miss all the lessons. You need to give yourself the space to experiment and try new things as you figure out how to grow your business. So when you set what I'm calling a realistic revenue goal, instead of focusing on making millions out of the gate, your mind is freed up to focus on connecting with your audience, growing your email list, getting your messaging right, getting comfortable on social media and video, and getting clear on your direction. So what I'm going to suggest is that you set a goal that is very doable. For me, I just wanted to make as much money as I made in my corporate job. So it was, I think, $160,000. That's how much I was making, including bonuses, when I left my job at Tony Robbins 15 years ago. So I wanted just to cover the $160,000. And I felt like that was doable with the knowledge I had. And I had joined a mastermind. I was taking courses. So I was learning from people that were making a whole lot more money than that. So I thought, okay, this is doable. And cut to the punchline here. I did. I almost made exactly that my first year. So a realistic revenue goal that allows you to experiment, make mistakes, figure things out, give yourself grace. I'm all about it. Which brings me to the second point. Spend more time learning about your audience that you want to serve and what they need and want than anything else. In that first year, commit to talking to your audience and learning from them. You can do this in so many ways, from engaging with them on social media in the comments, DMing them, responding to emails, or heck, even connecting with them in person or on the phone. I believe that this is so much easier when your audience is smaller. I get overwhelmed by the amount of emails we get or DMs we get in any given week. And because I'm an introvert and I deal with anxiety, sometimes when I see all of that coming in, I'm so grateful that people want to reach out. And I'm so overwhelmed that I feel paralyzed. Like, I'm not even answering one because it just feels like a lot. Now, I get over that. I can't stay in that weird space. But just to be honest, that does happen to me. But back in the day when I might have got 2 DMs, I definitely jumped on talking to people as much as possible. And I still have students from day one when I first started. Like, they've been with me from day one and they feel connected. And I've heard this many times because I had reached out so much in the early days. They understand I can't reach out as much now, but I did in the early days, and it created like customers for life. So if you have a smaller audience right now, please take advantage of that. Answer every single DM. Encourage people to reply back to the emails that you send as broadcast, and literally send personalized emails to everybody you can. Like, it's worth an hour a day to do that kind of thing. And quite honestly, even with my audience bigger, it is worth me to do it as well. So I do make the effort, but I just remember how much easier it was back then. Take advantage of that. Let it be easy. Because the more you understand who your audience is and what they're struggling with, the better equipped you'll be to create products and services that truly resonate with them moving forward. The minute that my audience says, oh my gosh, you get me, that was like the best day for me. So I always say, just slow down a little bit, learn from your audience, because when you slow down, it allows you to speed up when you're really ready. All right, number 3, spend tons of time focusing on your email list. Like, you probably got that one, right? Study all the ways people are growing their email list and figure out what resonates most with you. I did a really cool episode. It was kind of impromptu, off the cuff, with Harley Jordan. And Harley did a quiz that got 30,000 people to sign up for the quiz or take the quiz using just 2 Instagram reels. She grew her list by 30,000. And I asked her about this quiz she created and why it worked. And it kind of was fascinating to me. I learned things in that episode that I literally am applying to a quiz I'm creating for DCA for this September. So I learned a lot from that conversation with Harley. I'll link to it in the show notes, worth listening to. But yeah, find out what's working for other people and dissect their strategies so you can apply them to your list building strategy as well. Now, you could put together a simple offer in the beginning and make a little bit of money here, sending to your email list about the offer, but the main focus should be on growing your email list and nurturing the email list. So I'm not against, some people will say, Amy, how soon can I make an offer to my email list? And you could do it, I think, within 30 or 60 days of nurturing the email list. But if you don't need to, if you could hold off a little bit more, I'm all about stacking the value and building the trust so that when you're ready with a really fantastic offer, they are ready to buy. And what's great about an email list is that you can track your open rates, your click-through rates, your conversions, and really understand what's working and not working for your audience. So like, become a nerd in this area, become an email marketing nerd, understanding what's working in the industry, what's working for you and always up leveling. I wish I did that on day one when I left my 9 to 5 job and started my business. And I didn't, and I struggled with that because of it. So you remember that first launch I did, I made $267. That's because I didn't have an email list, just for the record. Okay, moving on to number 4, and this one is so important. I highly recommend that you get into a community of people who are also growing their businesses. Having other entrepreneurs in your network who you can look to for support and accountability, pure gold. Now, you need to go find them. You got to make an effort, whether you join a paid mastermind or a free community, a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group, whatever it might be. But you need to make sure you're not isolating yourself, because leaving a 9 to 5 job and working on your own can be the loneliest, especially if you're a little bit more of an extrovert or you love being around people. My niece, I was really afraid for her to come work with me. She is in the content department because she loves to be around people. She loves to collaborate. She loves to share ideas. She loves to chat with people. I don't necessarily love any of that when I'm working. I really like to be super isolated when I'm working. But there are some people, if it's you or not, that you need to be around people. I was talking to my social media manager, Cece, and she said that sometimes she just leaves her house. She goes to a hotel lobby where there's like a coffee shop, or she'll go to just a regular coffee shop just to be around people. A little people watching, a little noise around her actually is good for her productivity. It kills my productivity. It's so bad for me, but it's great for her. Knowing yourself and what you need in terms of community is so important. But whether you like to work out in, the world, get out there, or stay isolated in your house, that doesn't mean that it's okay to isolate totally, meaning you got to get into some online communities so that you feel not alone in all of this. Because what happens if you don't get into some online communities where other people are going through the same struggles and same journey as you, when you run into challenges, you will think there's something wrong with you. It is so easy to say it's working for everybody else, but not for me. I have a membership called Momentum. And once you go through Digital Course Academy, I invite my students to continue with me through this Momentum membership. And I'm always impressed with my Momentum members who share their struggles. This isn't working. I'm frustrated. I did a launch. It was a total failure. Here's what I think didn't work. What do you guys think? It is so great for the other members to realize, wait, it doesn't always work. And I'm not alone in this. And she's struggling with this too. But look at all this great advice that someone who's not struggling in that area just gave. Like, that's the kind of gold that we all need as entrepreneurs. So you either spend a little money and invest in a community, or you find some free communities. So important. And then know yourself. Do you need to be around more people, or are you better working alone at your house? There's no right or wrong, but you do need to know yourself. And early on, so you don't get in a funk, because leaving a 9 to 5 job and going out on your own, could be a huge shock if you're not ready for it. Okay. And then finally, number 5, reinvest any profit beyond what you need to cover your basic expenses back into your business. This is something that you have to get into the habit of very early on. I think the best expense for you is paid advertising for list building, not selling, but for list building. So if you can put a little bit of money into running paid advertising, either on, I think, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, so valuable. Even if it's just a little to get you into the habit. I've been spending money on Facebook ads for 15 years. I think I'm slowly going on to 16 soon, but since literally the beginning. And I do think that that was part of my success early on. Here's something interesting about investing money in paid ads. I remember very early on, I met with some people in a mastermind, and they're like, Amy, your business is exploding. You're everywhere. My business was not exploding, and I wasn't everywhere. I was paying to get out into the news feeds of the social channels where my audience was spending time. And to many people, it felt like I was crushing it. Now, I didn't lie and say I was, but the perception when you're just starting out could go a long way. People start to pay attention more, and you deserve that attention. You've got something great to put out into the world. It's just that not enough people know it yet. So if you're paying for them to know it, I'm all about it. So paid ads, paying for communities or programs that you want to be a part of, paying for the education, all worth it, my friend, all worth it. Every expert or mentor that I have had has reinvested back into themselves and into the business. So the key is to keep reinvesting in your business, but getting into the habit, even if it's a few $100s in the beginning. Whereas when you become really successful and have it, it's going to be second nature to always reinvest, but you're going to be able to do it in a bigger way. So I think the habit of reinvesting in your business needs to start on day one. So there you go. To recap, number one, set realistic revenue goals, which is kind of a little twist, me saying, don't make it all about the money the first year. Number two, learn everything you can about your audience. Number three, focus on growing your email list. Number four, build your community. Don't do this alone. Number five, reinvest back into your business after you've covered your expenses. I hope you enjoyed this shorty episode and found it valuable. I know that I love speaking to those of you who are just starting out because I share all the wisdom I have today that I wish someone would have shared with me 15 years ago. So there you have it. I will see you again on Thursday for more entrepreneurial goodness. Bye for now.